Hi, this is Gino Jones. Are you surprised? You heard what Donald Trump had to say today about African immigrants and Haitians and El Salvadorians? I'm paraphrasing, why are we letting in these people from these shithole countries like Haiti? And then he said all Haitians have AIDS. And if we let all these Africans in, I'm paraphrasing, like from Nigeria, that they'll never return to their huts. This is the person that sits in the Oval Office in the White House. I'm paraphrasing Maya Angelou. When a person shows you who they are, believe them, and believe them the very first time they show you who you are. Now, Donald Trump has showed us who he is multitude of times, from the original birther lie, and we could go on and on and on what he said about Mexicans, being rapists and Muslims. So it really shouldn't be a surprise, not at all. But it's just so offensive that this man continues to use bigotry, hate, racism, and white supremacy to divide this country, and basically to use the fear of the others, the fear of people who look different than you. And what's amazing, first of all, we are all immigrants. His family are immigrants. And if Donald Trump doesn't know his history, there was a time about a century ago where many in this country in power demonized the Italians. They were talked about the way Donald Trump talked about Haitians and African immigrants and immigrants from El Salvador, Italian immigrants, Irish immigrants, Catholics were talked about in the same derogatory terms or in the same derogatory way. We are a nation of immigrants, and to my white brothers and sisters, I appeal to you. I can't appeal to your hate and your bigotry and white supremacy if some of you all who really share and harbor those feelings in your heart, if that's how you truly feel, I can't appeal to that. But the vast majority of my fellow white brothers and sisters here in America, that's not who you are. Yeah, you may have some prejudice, some fear, some ignorance because you really haven't had a chance to have a relationship with maybe people of color. But please understand, powerful people like Donald Trump, they don't care about poor white people. As a matter of fact, they have less respect for poor white people than they do for poor people of color. Because their attitude is, we know the system was rigged for people of color not to succeed, but if you are a white person, their attitude is, what's your excuse? Why haven't you succeeded? But you haven't succeeded because those in those powerful positions have used bigotry, fear, ignorance, racism, and white supremacy to make you think that the reason your jobs were shipped to South Korea or Mexico or Taiwan or the Philippines was because of some black kid on the south side of Chicago, or from some Hispanic kid from East LA, or some part of New York or Houston, or maybe because of some Muslim who's been here. But the truth is, the reason those plants and factories and steel mill jobs and jobs like Carrier were sent to other countries wasn't because of a black person or a Hispanic person or a person of color or a Muslim. It was because of white men who looked like you, who in closed circles, behind closed doors, say, we don't give a damn about poor white people, poor black people, poor brown people. We don't give a damn about them. The only thing we care about is ourselves. So when our working class white brothers and sisters realize that the true sin and the game is not about color, the color is used, it's like catnip. It is a diversion. It's a bait and switch. Those men like Donald Trump, if they can keep poor and working class people in West Virginia and Pennsylvania and Ohio thinking that, oh, you know what? The reason they shut this plant down in Ohio and send it to the Philippines or to Mexico or to Taiwan is because of those black people or those Mexican people or those Muslim people. As long as they can keep you believing that, you won't focus on the real reason. Because it wasn't a black person or a brown person or a Mexican or a Muslim person that made the decision to shut those plants down in Ohio and Pennsylvania and West Virginia and Wisconsin and Michigan. The reason they were shut down because it was men like Donald Trump who looked like you that made that decision and didn't give a damn about you. So understand that. So we, working class people of all races and genders, we have more in common than with people like Donald Trump. And that's what they fear. Because when poor and working class white people say, wait a minute, this racism thing, this is a ruse. This is a con. This is a shell game. Or as they said in Chicago when I was a kid on the bus, con artists, they had a game called 3-Card Monte. It's a con. Because they don't care about you, me, okay? They use the racism to pit us against each other so they continue to give each other these tax cuts and keep more money in their pocket and raise pay, CEO pay. And in the meantime, we'll give some people a bonus, but then we'll lay off another 300 or 400 people like this just happened recently, okay? Please understand the con. America, we are better than this. We are a nation of immigrants, including Donald Trump. And I'll close with this. Here's a project. Donald Trump, you maybe know your history. You're from New York City. Ellis Island, the Statue of Liberty. Google and read the words on the tablet that's being held by Lady Liberty. Read the words on the tablet. I'll drop the mic on that because when you read the words on that tablet, you'll understand that this nation was built on a foundation of accepting all those. You're poor, it didn't matter, from wherever, who wanted a better life, who wanted freedom and opportunity and equality, irregardless of your race, your gender, your religion, your orientation. America is a melting pot of all different races and ethnicities. And the sooner we realize that, the better off we'll be. I'm out.